For this blue-footed booby, we're going to want to have brown yarn, white yarn, and a light blue or a teal yarn for the feet. It's whatever color really makes you happy when you do the feet. If you look at the printed pattern that came with your materials, you will see that there is a listing of the colors that I actually used in this project and an alternative for the giant plush version if you want to make the plush version. You're also going to need safety eyes, a size E crochet hook, scissors, and I use a piece of scrap yarn, but you can use a stitch marker if you'd like. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that we're going to make, if we're following along with the pattern, is the beak. So you make your slip knot to start your project. Now I chain 2. A lot of people like to do a magic ring. I'm a chain 2er. If you want to do a magic ring, go ahead. So you're going to chain 2. And then for round 1, you're going to do 4 single crochet in the second chain from hook. So this is your second chain from hook, and there's a little bump. That's what you want to put all your stitches into. So you're going to do 4 stitches into that. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pull up your slip knot to make it tighter. Make sure you have 4. So for round 2, you're going to increase and then single crochet, and you're going to do that 2 times. So you're going to increase, which is 2 stitches into 1 stitch. So increase, and then single crochet. Then you're going to do that again, increase, and then single crochet. And you've finished round 2. I'm going to push those eyes out of my way. Okay, so now we're moving on to round 3. And here's where I start using a stitch marker so I don't have to count. But this is just a single crochet row, so you're going to single crochet in every stitch around. Okay, for round 4, you're going to increase and then do 2 single crochets, and you're going to repeat that 2 times. So you increase, 1, 2, and then you do 2 single crochets. And then you repeat that 1 more time. So you're going to increase, and 2 single crochets. Okay, on rounds 5 and 6, you're just going to single crochet in each stitch all the way around. So it would be 8 stitches per round. What I like to do is just flip this up so I know I've done 1 round, and then the next round I don't have to count, but I'll know there's 2. Now we're going to do round 7, which is an increase, and then 3 single crochets twice. So you're going to increase, 3 single crochet, and then increase, 3 single crochet, and you should have 10 stitches in this round. So now we're going to do rounds 8 through 10, and that's 3 rows of single crochet. So just single crochet in each stitch around for 3 rows. You can see we have 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to move on to round 11, which is increase, 4 single crochet 2 times. So you're going to increase, 4 single crochet, and then you're going to repeat that with an increase and 4 single crochet. We're almost done with the beak. It was a nice quick thing to start with. And you're going to do 2 rows of single crochet, 12 stitches per row. So you just single crochet in each stitch. And pull that out, and now you have your little beak. It curves just a little at the end. It's going to be perfect for the little face. So you're going to want to cut this yarn, leave a long piece for sewing. Longer the better, because it's easier to just have it attached than try to add a new yarn. So if you don't know how to fasten off, push it in, pull it up, pull it through, and then pull it all the way through. And we have the beak. Next up, if you're following along in the pattern, is we're going to start the head. The head is in white. And just like before, we're going to do a slip knot and chain 2. 1, 2. And for the first round of this, we are going to do 6 single crochet in the second chain from hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Pull up your center to close it up. Count to make sure you got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to move on to round 2, which is an increase in each stitch all the way around. An increase. So just go ahead and count those. Make sure you have 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now, if you're using the plush yarn and the J hook, this might get a little pointed, but when you stuff it, it's going to look fine. It's just not going to lay as flat, and that's just because the thicker yarn doesn't do the circle in the same math, but it'll still look okay as long as you don't need it to lay flat. All right, so round 3, we're going to increase 1, 2, and then single crochet. And we're going to repeat that around 5 more times. So increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, and this last one, single crochet. Okay, move your stitch marker. Round 4 is a single crochet and then an increase and then a single crochet, and repeat it around 6 times total. This spreads your increases out so you don't get that line of the increases as you're doing it. If you don't like to do it this way, you can choose to do it your own way. You just want to increase by 6 evenly across, but this is how I do it to hide that and not get a seam. So single crochet, increase, 1, 2, and then single crochet. Okay, and then do that 5 more times around this circle, and we'll meet back at the beginning of the circle. Now we're moving on to round 5, which is 3 single crochet, increase 6 times. Do a single crochet for 3. 1, 2, 3, and then increase, and do that 5 more times. You should have 30 stitches at the end of that round, and this is going to be our last increase round while we're working on the head. So you're going to do 2 single crochet, an increase, and then 2 single crochet all the way around for a total of 6 times. So single crochet, second single crochet, increase, single crochet, and then another single crochet, and repeat that around 5 times. There you have the beginning of the head. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to single crochet in each stitch around for 12 rounds. So you're going to do it 12 rounds of single crochet, 36 stitches per row. We'll meet back after we've done 12 rows. There's no reason for us to watch each other crochet. We'll just see you when we get that all done. Welcome back. Hopefully you've finished 12 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. We're going to move on to round 19 in your written pattern. We're going to add some increases and then some decreases, and this is going to give us like a little bulb for the full, for kind of like a flap for the back of the neck. So we're going to do 6 increases. 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, and 6, 2. Now this is going to be the back of the head. So when we sew on the beak, it's going to be directly across from this. We'll get to that in just a minute, but so you know what we're doing. The next section, you're going to do 9 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we're going to do 6 decreases. So a decrease, you're going to take it in, pull it up, take it into the next stitch, pull it up, yarn over, and pull through all of them. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you're going to do 9 single crochet. Seven, 8, and 9. So to finish the head, you're going to do 4 rows of single crochet. You're going to have 36 stitches in each row. And then when we finish that, we'll sew on the head and we'll attach the eyes, and we'll have one part of this already done. So I'll meet you back here after you finish 4 rows single crochet. Okay, you should have done 20, 21, 22, and 23. So now you have your 4 rows. So remove your stitch marker, and you're going to cut this. Leave a long tail for sewing. Once again, it's always good to have one rather than not have one. Fasten off. Now, as you can see, it just made it stick out a little bit. So that's the back of our head. I understand we finished it off here, but we're going to move that, the center, to about right there. I'm going to turn it around a little bit. And we're going to attach the beak in round 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's where the top of the beak is going to go. And the bottom of the beak is going to be round 14. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So you can see if it's right on there. So grab some stuffing and a large eye needle. We'll go ahead and get this beak attached, and then we'll move on to the body. So just, you're not going to need a lot of stuffing for the beak. Make sure to get it nice and down in there. Put all the extra stuff off to the side so that it doesn't keep getting in your way. And you can see it has a nice little curved shape to it. Okay, so let's go ahead and thread this. So all right, we're threaded on. We're going to find that top point. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pop him open a little bit. Now you can choose to pin this on, or you can freehand sew it like I'm going to. Just make sure it's The back of the head is the opposite side of your beak. And then you're just going to whip stitch this on. Using your tail. I guess I could have said that. Before you completely close it, you want to check and make sure you have enough stuffing. If you don't think you have enough, you can put a little bit more in there before it's completely closed. I just want to make sure it's a nice, firm, attached bit, so I just added just a little bit more. Okay, you've done it all the way through. Hide your tail inside. You can pull it through like this. Turn them inside out. And then what I like to do is tie these to the very first, the slip knot. Tie these together. Now don't tie them so tight that it warps your project. Make sure you leave enough room so when you stuff it, those can spread out. But if that's tied nice and tight, you shouldn't have any trouble with those threads coming undone. Tuck all of that up in there. And now we're going to do the eyes. Now the eyes are about a stitch away from the nose and between rounds 9 and 10. You may have to adjust. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I want them just under. I want the post to go just below where the beak started. And try to make sure I put them in the same row. And then I kind of flatten them down and look at them and see if I like the way that they look. Sometimes you have to adjust because of the way you crochet. I think this one needs to go out just a little further, just so he doesn't look cross-eyed. Bring this one out just a little bit too. So take some time and put the eyes where you think they look best before you put the backs on, because if you've done this and done the amigurumi, those safety eyes are really hard to take off once you put them on. So find your placement. I was happy with mine. Go ahead and put your backs on. These can be a little challenging. There we go. This is when you learn if you have hand strength or not. Okay, and then push them in tight. tighter than that. There we go. And we'll flip him over. We have his little head. He's partway done. We're going to move on to the body. The body we're also going to do in white, so we'll see in just a second. The body is going to be worked using an oval increase. So we're going to do our slip stitch in white. We are going to chain 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So on your chain, you have this side that looks like a ladder, and then you have the other side that has the bumps. So we're going to work in those bumps for this first part. In the second chain from hook, we are going to single crochet. Now we're going to single crochet in the next 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 1 stitch left. What we're going to do is we're going to do 3 single crochet in that stitch. So 3 into the same stitch. 1, 2, 3. You can still pull that close. You don't have a hole. Now we're going to work down the other side of the chain. And I'm just flipping the page in my pattern. So if you're following along in your pattern, just turn your page. And we're going to do 9 single crochet on this other side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so you have your start and your end, and in the middle you have this just section right here. You're going to put 3 single crochets into there, not in the first stitch, not in the last stitch, kind of in this, there's like a loop. So go ahead and just put it in there. This is the hardest part of the oval increase. Once you get this part down, the rest is pretty much smooth sailing. So do 3 stitches here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and now we have the beginning of our oval. We grab our stitch marker, go ahead and mark it, and now we're going to move on. We should have 24 stitches in this row. We're going to move on to round 2, which is 9 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, come on. My hook got stuck. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we're going to do 3 increases where we put those 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. And then you're just going to repeat that over again. So you're going to do 9 single crochet, and then 3 increases at the end. That's 9, and do your increases. As you can see, it makes this nice long oval, which is going to give us the base of our body. You should have 30 stitches after you finish that round. So now we're going to move on to round 3, which is 9 single crochet, and then we'll talk about what we do on the ends. So 9 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now on the end where we just did the 3D or increases, we're going to do a single crochet and an increase 3 times. So single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase. And then just repeat that again. So it's 9 single crochet and then single crochet increase 3 times. We're back at the end, so we're going to do single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase. So single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, and then increase. At the end of this round, you should have 36 stitches. We're going to move on to round 4, which is 9 single crochet. We'll do that, and then we'll talk about what we do on the ends where we do the increases. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we're going to do our increase section, and it's going to be single crochet, increase, single crochet 3 times. So single crochet, increase, single crochet. And then you do it a second time, single crochet, increase, single crochet. And you do it the third time, single crochet, increase, single crochet. All right, so then we repeat all that again. So let's do our 9 single crochet, and then when we get over here, we'll talk about what we do again, just for a reminder's sake. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we're back at the increase edge. So it's single crochet, increase, 1, 2, single crochet, Do it the second time, single crochet, increase, single crochet, single crochet, increase, single crochet. Okay, so you just finished round 4. You should have 42 stitches if you want to count. We're going to move on to round 5. We're going to start with those 9 single crochets. Six, 7, 8, and 9. And now what we're going to do in our increase sections, so basically we're doing a circle with 9 single crochet in the middle. So you do your 9 single crochet and you do half your circle, then you do your 9 single crochet and you do your other half of the circle. This time we're doing 3 single crochet, increase 3 times. So you're going to do your 3 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, and then increase. Do it a second time. So 2, 2, 3, increase. And 3, 2, 3, increase. Now we separate it out by the 4 or the 9. So 9 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then we go back to increasing again. So 3 single crochet, increase 3 times. Single crochet, 2 and 3. Then we increase. One, 2, 3, and then you increase. And then 3, 2, 3, increase. And there you have, you've just finished round 5. You'll have 48 stitches. We're going to do a few more increase rows to get the shape. And this is the back of our bird. So this is where we're going to put the head. Obviously not right now because the head is as big as the bird. But once this is done, we'll be able to attach the head. So we're going to have a few more rows of increasing, and then we're just going to do some single crochet rows, just to give you an idea of what's coming up next. So now we're going to round 6. Again, you're going to start with those 9 single crochet. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, now the next round are the increases. You're going to do 2 single crochet, increase, 2 single crochet 3 times. So 2 single crochet, 1, 2, then do your increase. Then do your 2 single crochet. 1, 2. Now do this a second time. 2 single crochet, 1, 2. Increase. 2 single crochet. 1, 2. 2 single crochet. 1, 2. Increase. 1, and then 2 single crochet. Repeat that one more time. So we're going to do the 9 single crochet. We'll meet back where we have to do the increases. Okay, so 2 single crochet, increase, 2 single crochet, 3 times around. So single crochet and 2, increase, single crochet for 2, single crochet for 2, 1, 2, increase, single crochet for 2, 1, 2, single crochet for 2, increase, oops, single crochet for 2. That was round 6. You should have 54 stitches. Now we're going to move on to round 7, which is, you're going to start with our 9 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. All right, and now we're going to do our increases. In this situation, it's going to be 5 single crochet increase 3 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, increase. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, increase. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, increase. Now you're going to do your 9 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, then the next step is going to do 5 single crochet, increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then increase. Do it again. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, increase. Then do it one more time. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, increase. Okay. There you go. Now you have round 7 finished. You should have about 60 stitches. We're going to do our last increase round, which is round 8. Start with your 9 single crochet. Okay, that's our 9. Now we're going to do the increase section. So we're going to do 3 single crochet, increase 3 single crochet 3 times. So 1, 2, 3, increase, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, increase, 1, 2, 3, and then 3. Nope, I increased. I shouldn't have. Haha. 3, 2, 3, increase, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we're going to do that, the same thing, one more time. So you do your 9 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and now you're going to do your increases. So 3, increase, 3 times. So 1, 2, 3, increase. 1, 2, 3. Do it again. 2, 2, 3, increase. 1, 2, 3. And then last time, 3, 2, 3, increase. 1, 2, 3. That's all the increases that you have to do for this. So we're going to do 6 rows single crochet. So it's going to be rounds 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. 6 rows single crochet. And then we'll come back and we'll start doing the decreases to make the bottom. So this is the back of his head. So his head's going to go on kind of like this, a little further out, but that's it. And then we'll give him a tail, we'll give him wings, and then we'll do the feet. And I know the feet's the most exciting part, but we got to get everything else done before we can do the feet. So do 6 rounds of single crochet and we'll meet back here and start doing the decreases. You should have just completed rounds 9 through 14, which is 6 rows single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're going to start decreasing down, but you can see your shape of your body. So round 15 is going to be 9 single crochet, decrease 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then decrease. And repeat that 5 more times. You should have 60 stitches at the end of that row or round. Now we're going to move on to round 16, which is 8 single crochet, decrease 6 times around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're going to decrease. And then you're going to repeat that 5 more times. You just finished round 16. You should have a total of 54 stitches. We are now moving on to round 17, which is 7 single crochet, decrease 6 times. So 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and decrease. Repeat that around 5 more times, and just make sure your tension's really tight here to avoid any holes or anything. You should have 48 stitches after finishing that round. We're moving on to round 18, which is 6 single crochet, decrease 6 times. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to do our decrease. And we're going to repeat that 5 more times. That finishes round 18. You should have 42 stitches. Moving on to round 19, we're going to do 5 single crochet, decrease 6 times. Four and 5. And then you do your decrease. Come on. Repeat that around 5 more times. After finishing round 19, you should have 36 stitches. We're going to move on to round 20, which is 4 single crochet, decrease 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to do our decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, then you do your decrease, and just keep doing that around. It'll be a total of 6 times, but if you're following along with me, it's 4 more times. After round 20, you should have 30 stitches. We're going to do one more round of decrease, then we're going to start stuffing it, and then we're going to decrease it up to close. Excuse me. One more. Sorry about that. Okay, so now we're going to do 3 single crochet, decrease 6 times. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to decrease. And now you're going to repeat that around 5 more times. Okay, so before I stuff, I like to take the stitch marker out to make sure that I don't lose it or get it stuck in anything. I pull the yarn out quite a bit so I don't lose any of it or lose any stitches that I've done. And then I grab a whole bunch of stuffing. Now, I like to try to make sure that I can get most of my hand in. So if you need to stop sooner, go for it. I take my polyfiber fill and I stuff that in there. And then I kind of make a little pocket in the center where I add the stuffing and then spread it out to the sides. Roll it check it. I really want it nice and full. Okay. And you can continue to add as you go. This side looks a little understuffed. By making the pocket, you can try to make sure your edges are nice and round and not super lumpy, which is what I like. So there we have it. Now we're going to close it up. Now this is the base or the bottom of the bird. It is, if you know bird, it would be like the breastbone. So we're just going to close it up. Try to keep your tension nice and tight here. So once you put the stuffing in, you can start to get holes. Put your stitch marker back. You're going to do 2 single crochet and then a decrease 6 times. So 2 single crochet, 1, 2, and then a decrease. Okay, and then repeat that around 6 times, or 5 more times. Have a little tangle here where one of the stitch didn't get completely finished. So I'm going to go back in and fix that by pulling that through that loop. That'll make it a lot easier. And then I was on 1, 2, so now we're going to decrease. Helps prevent tangles and things like that. So that was round 22. You'll have 18 stitches left. Moving on to round 23, we're going to do a single crochet, decrease 6 times, and that's going to really close up our hole. So single crochet, decrease, up. Now repeat that around 5 more times. Okay, we're on the last round. I'm thinking that looks a little understuffed, so we're just going to put just a little bit more in there before I do this last round and close it up. So the last round, you are just going to decrease in each stitch 6 times. So decrease around for 6. So 1, really keep your tension tight. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So now you're going to cut your yarn, leave a long piece in case you need to do any sewing with this. If you don't, you can just tuck it in. You're going to fasten that off with a slip stitch. You're going to thread your large eye needle. And take that through these last few stitches. Try not to catch anything weird like I just did. Okay. Pull up that tail to close, and then if any of those holes look too big for you, use this needle to kind of weave them in and pull them in a little bit. Just telling me I probably overstuffed it a little bit. But this is a quick way to just kind of close up those holes. If they are too big for you. Okay. Now this is our bottom. I'm going to go ahead and leave this just in case we need it. Flip it over so you can see the top. And the next step is to sew this head onto the body. So we're going to go ahead and stuff this head and then sew him onto the body. He's going to go on just like this. And then we'll move on to the wings. So make sure you pull the tail out. Don't sew that in or stuff that in, or you won't have anything to sew with. Stuff your head. Now, in order to prevent like a bobbly head or a wiggly head, you want to make sure this is nice and stuffed. You can stuff it as you're stitching it to add some more reinforcement when you get down to almost closing it up. So now I have my head stuffed. I have my decrease or increases in the back and the decreases in the front. I have the body top up. I'm just going to put this right on the edge of the body, and I'm going to just start sewing him down. I'm doing the head on first because the wing placement will be based on the head placement. You can pin this in place or you can hold it in place while you sew, and we're just going to whip stitch it on just like we did with the beak. some of the stuffing is peeking out. So I'm going to pop it in under there a little bit to make it easier for me to sew. Okay, we've got him almost around to the back. Push that stuffing up in there and see if you need to add some more. I think I need to add more. I want to make sure this is nice and sturdy so the head doesn't bobble around when somebody's messing with him. And I know I keep saying him. I named mine Blue-footed Booby Bobo. You can name yours whatever you want. You can even give it eyelashes if you'd like. So I feel like that gave it a nice, tighter stuffing to it. So now we can finish. Just want to make sure you pull your stitches tight when you're sewing. All right, we've got him all the way around. His head is nice and secure, but what I'm going to do is kind of like what you do in sewing. I'm going to add a few more stitches to reinforce this from where I first put it on. Just to make sure it's nice and on there. I'll do one more. Okay. Now, what do you do with this? You take it and you shove it up and pop it out as far away as possible. And then you do it again. Try to put it through the same hole so you don't end up with extra like lines and stuff. And pop it through. Make sure you don't pull so hard that it indents on your project, but then that should hide the end for you. So you just pull a little tight, snip it, and it's all done. And we have our head and body done on our blue-footed Booby. The next part is the wings, which you will make 2 of. So I will walk you through how to make one and then make the other one on your own, okay? Okay, the next part we're gonna make are the wings. You're gonna wanna make 2 of these, and you're gonna do them in brown. So basically with the wings is we're gonna make a circle by increasing up to 7 single crochet, increase 6 times around, And then we are going to fold it in half and single crochet it closed to give us the wing shape. So make your slip knot, chain 2, 1, 2. You guys should be really good at this by now. 6 single crochet in the second chain from hook. 1. Yep. 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then 6. I don't know why I got so excited about the 5. Pull that up to close it. Check your count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Round 2. Increase in each stitch. So we're going to increase, which is 2 stitches. 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, and 6, 2. So go ahead and count. Make sure you have 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. We're going to move on to round 3, which is an increase and then a single crochet. You're going to do that 6 times. You're going to do an increase and then a single crochet. And you're going to repeat that 5 more times. All right, you should have 18 stitches. Now we're going to move on to round 4, which is a single crochet, increase, single crochet. So single crochet, increase, single crochet, and repeat that around 5 more times. You should have 24 stitches. We're moving on to round 5, which is 3 single crochet, increase 6 times. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then single crochet or increase. I don't know what I'm talking about. And then repeat that around. So 1, 2, 3, increase. You should now have 30 stitches. Now you're going to do round 6, which is 2 single crochet, increase 2 single crochet 6 times. So 1, 2, increase, and then 1, 2, and repeat that around 5 more times. You should have 36 stitches at the end of that round. Now we're moving to 5 single crochet, increase 6 times. Well, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then increase. And repeat that 5 more times. All right, you should have 42 stitches. Now we're moving on to round 8, which is 3 single crochet, increase 3 single crochet 6 times. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to increase, and then we're going to do 3. 1, 2, 3, and then repeat that around 5 more times. All right, you should have 48 stitches at the end of that last round. We are going to do round 9, and that is the last of our increase rounds before we finish off this wing. Round 9 is 7 single crochet and then an increase. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then we have the increase, and repeat that around 5 more times. I do feel like a broken record a little bit. 1, All right, so you have finished the increases. Take out your stitch marker. This is the right side. This is the wrong side. So what you're going to want to do is fold it in half and make a semicircle with the right side showing. Now, when I crochet things together, I like to do a chain. So I have a little bit of room to make sure I get it in that first stitch on both sides. So then you just go through the top and the bottom stitch, and you're doing a full single crochet. So we'll do it on the next one. Going through this side, and then I'm going through the next stitch on the next side, on the other side, pulling it up, single crochet. So you're single crocheting this together to get the wings. Pretty much making like a little taco. there you have your little shape. You want to cut it. Pull through to fasten it off. And you're going to make a second one. But see, we're just going to lay these on and they're going to touch in the back and they're his little wings. And then we're going to make his tail. And then we're going to make his feet. So make your second wing and then we'll make the tail and we'll attach those pieces. So we'll meet back here to do the tail. Welcome back. You should have made your second wing. Now we're going to work on the tail. And then we're going to move on to the legs and the feet. And once we're done with all of that, we'll finish putting everything together. So for the tail, we're going to do it in the brown. The tail is worked back and forth instead of in the round. You're going to add the tail feathers at the end. So let's work through this. Start with your slip knot. Insert your hook. And we are going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So your first round, you're going to single crochet in the second chain from hook. So if you see, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the one that your hook's in. So go to the second one and single crochet in the bumpy part. And then single crochet in the remaining stitches. So you should have 6 stitches across. Now you're going to chain 1, you're going to turn, and you're going to do 6 single crochet across. 1, 2, 3, that got a little snagged. 4, 5, and 6. You're going to chain 1, you're going to turn it again, and you're going to do row 3, which is 6 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, now we're going to move on to row 4. You're going to chain 1, then turn it. You're going to increase 4 single crochet and then increase. So you're going to do 2, 1, 2, 4 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're going to increase in this last stitch. Having all sorts of issues today. One, 2, chain 1, and then turn. So now we have row 5. We're going to do a single crochet row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. This one, there's no chain at the end of it because we're going to start making the tail feathers. So I'm going to turn it so that my bumpies are on the right side. You're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now you're going to start in the second chain from the hook, and you're going to single crochet, and then you're going to single crochet the remaining pieces of that chain for 6 stitches. Now I'm skipping this first single crochet and I'm single crocheting in the next one, or I'm slip stitching, my apologies. So now we have a tail feather that sticks out. So we're going to repeat this across, some longer tail feathers for the middle and then another short one on the end. Okay. So on this one, we are going to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Single crochet in the second chain from the hook. And then single crochet the remaining ones. It'll give you a total of 9. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we're going to skip the next single crochet and go to the 4th one. Basically, every 2 is where you're going to do your slip stitch. So slip stitch right in here. And then you can see how you're getting your tail feathers laid out. Okay? And then they line up nice and flat right here on the starting row. So now we are going to do another chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Single crochet back down that chain. 9 stitches total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Skip this next stitch, which would have been the 5th stitch, and go to the 6th stitch and do a slip stitch. Okay, and we're almost done with the tail. So we're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're going to single crochet down that chain one last time for 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Once again, skip the next stitch, which would be the 7th stitch. Go to the very last stitch, which was the 8th stitch. Do your slip stitch. Cut your yarn to fasten off. Pull through. And now you have your tail. If you don't like the way that it curls, you can put something flat on it and it'll stop curling. But I kind of like that the feathers look a little curly, and because birds kind of have curly feathers. So that is our tail feather. When we get to assembly, you'll see we just sew that on right like this, and then we'll put the wings over it. So set it aside until it's time to sew it on. And we'll move on to the next part. Now we're on to the next part. If you've ever seen a blue-footed booby, they have bright blue feet that match their beaks. So we're gonna make this, it's got several pieces that we'll end up putting together at the end, but the first thing you wanna do is make 2 legs. The legs are really simple. They're just single crochet tubes, basically. So start with your slip knot, chain 2, you're gonna single crochet 6 in the second chain from hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You'll want a stitch marker for this part. For round 2, you're going to increase in each stitch around. So you want to do 2 stitches in each stitch. So 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6, 2. So count, make sure you have 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. These legs are a little thick, but we want them to be able to support our bird, so that's why they're just a little bit thick. So then you're just going to move on, and you're going to do rounds 3 through 9 is 7 rows of single crochet. So it's a single crochet stitch in each round for 7 rows, and then you leave the bottom open, and that's what we'll use to sew it on. So 7 rows of single crochet, and we'll meet back here after you have finished both legs, and we'll move on to the toes. I just finished my 7 rows of single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. This part's open, this part's closed. We're gonna pull the string out. We're gonna fasten off. Make sure you make 2 of these. Just fasten it off by a slip stitch into the next stitch. And when we get to assembly, we're gonna stuff these and sew it to the bottom of our bird, open side down, close side up, so that we can attach the feet. So next up is the feet. So what I'm gonna do with the feet is I'm gonna show you how to make a toe and then the webbing. and this is all in the written pattern. You'll want 6 toes, 3 for each foot, because a bird foot's kind of like this with the 3 feet and then the webbing in between. So you'll make 6 toes and 4 pieces of webbing. So why don't we do, I'm going to do the webbing first because there's not a whole process of single crochet in that. And then we'll do the toes and you'll set them aside. Once you have all the pieces made after we do this, then we can meet back here and we can put it all together for your super cute little bird. So make a slip stitch. This is for the webbing. You're going to chain 8. Now this is worked back and forth like we did with the tail. So chain 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, you're going to single crochet across starting in the second chain from hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Chain 1, turn, because we're working back and forth. Now you're going to decrease, single crochet 2 together. You're going to do 3 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, and then decrease again. Chain 1, turn. Now we're moving on to row 3 of the webbing. You're going to decrease, decrease, come here, single crochet, decrease, chain 1, turn. Now we're on round 4. So you're going to do a single crochet row, 1, 2, and 3. You're going to chain 1, turn it one last time. This is row 5. You're going to decrease, and then you're going to single crochet. And then you're going to fasten off. And when we get to assembly, I'll explain how this works. But you'll need 4 total of these little feet webbing, and then the toes will go on the outside like this. You'll have a toe here, and then another one here to make your little feet. Then you'll sew that to the bottom of the leg, and then you'll have your little bird. Make 3 more of these, but let's move on to the toes. Also in your blue, you're gonna make your slip stitch. You are going to chain 2 or do a magic ring. Again, that's fine. Chain 2, 6 single crochet in the second chain from hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Make sure you have the 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now for the toes, and you're making 6 of these, you're going to do 8 rows of single crochet, 6 stitches per row. I'm going to use a stitch marker. I'm going to make 8, and then I'm going to fasten this off. This will be the front of the toe where the foot, where the webbing goes, and the open part will be the back where you sew it onto the leg. So do 8 rows of single crochet and then make 5 more, and we'll meet back when we have all the completed pieces in order to assemble our bird. I started so you could kind of see, make sure this is a little small, so make sure you have the outside showing and that the inside is the part that curls up, okay? So that's 1 row. I've got a few more to go. We'll meet back after we finish making all of these pieces. Now that we've got all the pieces done, we need to put it all together, which can take a little bit of time. So I went ahead and put together one of the feet so you could see what it was looking like, and we'll put together one together. Then we will sew on the wings and the tail, and we will be all done with our little project, okay? So you need your large eye needle, you need your 3 toes. I'm gonna set stuff off to the side. 1 a leg, and your 2 webs. Now this ends up with a whole bunch of strings. It's okay. I just pulled all the threads through and then stuffed them in and used that to start the stuffing. So you're gonna have a lot of threads, but you're not gonna have as much weaving in as you could. So go ahead, and I like to thread from the wide side, use that, and then use the short side to do the other toe. So we'll do the first one. Go ahead and get this threaded on your needle. All right, grab a toe. You want to line this up, give it about 1 stitch on the open side and 1 stitch or 2 stitches on the closed side. Make sure all your closed sides are on the same so that you have closed toes. We need closed toe shoes. All right, and then we're just gonna stitch this on. So I'm kind of doing like an overhand stitch, grabbing the bottom, pulling it up. You want to pull that tight just so you don't get loose stitching. Then I go up through that one just a little bit for this last stitch. I'm going to go up into the toe and pull it out like that. Okay? So now you take the other side and you grab another toe. I know, this feels like so many toes. It's quite a lot of toes. Thread your needle. Line the 2 toes up so they squish together in a V, and you have the front piece out. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab a stitch from the first toe and stitch it to the second toe. Just to get them kind of lined up. Now we're going to go and stitch it together. If there's a little bit of a gap there and you don't like it, you can sew that up when you're done. And make sure you get to the very end of that and Okay, and now I'm gonna just run this back up through the toe once again, so it pulls out through the top. Okay, I'm threading all of the extra string off to the side so I can see what I'm working with here. So grab your next piece of webbing. Once again, I like to start with the wide side first. Go ahead and thread it. Line it up like we did the first time. And just start stitching. And if your tail wasn't long enough, you can run this side up, then run it through and run it down. But if the tail's long enough, this is just a nice, easy way to get rid of all of this extra yarn. So you don't have to weave in ends. I don't like to weave in ends. Okay, once again, I'm going to go back up through this little stitch here just to make sure we don't lose anything. Go into here. And then thread that up into the toes, out to the front. All right, grab your last toe. This one's really long. I feel like that's too long. I'm going to cut it just to make it more manageable. I don't need that much. I've got a lot of strings. So go ahead and thread your needle. Grab into the second toe, into the third toe. Make that nice and secure. And then just sew that on. Well, it seems like a lot of pieces, but they actually go together pretty quickly. And there's not as many ends to weave in as you think. So you're almost done, and you're gonna have a fun little project when you're finished. So just like before, we're going all the way up the toe. Make sure we grab that very first chain row. Okay, and then weave that up and through. Now you can choose to cut this and use one of these other strings to sew this on to your foot, but I think I have enough yarn and I'd rather just go ahead and use this instead of threading a needle again. Now here you also want to make a decision if you like this side for the top of the foot or this side. So I usually like to sew it together on the back side or the wrong side of the work and then flip it over to sew on the foot. I'm going to bring over the leg. We're going to pull these off to the side like this. And the leg just fits right in like that. And what I'm going to do is sew to the top part and then flip it over and sew it to the bottom part. I'm actually going to push these this way out of the way instead of up. And I'm going to pull them through the hole with a crochet hook. So let's get this started and then get rid of some of these extra strings to make it easier for us. Oh, just gonna go in here. I keep all this extra stuff out of the way. And I'm in about the second row of the leg. I'm just grabbing them and sewing it on. Now, if you're using the plush yarn, you're going to have to use a really big needle to do this. That's okay. The plush yarn tends to hide your stitches really, really well. So I do like using the plush yarn. So keeping everything up in there. All right. So that's the top of the foot. Now I'm going to flip it over and get any of these little loose edges. But before I do that, got my crochet hook here, and I am going to go up through and just start pulling up these extra strings to get them out of the way. Now you can use your large eye needle for this, but I really just didn't want to have to thread everything. So I am doing this in the fast way for me. Okay, and we're going to grab this one too. So now all that stuff's in here and it's out of your way, which definitely makes my life a lot easier. So you see where you didn't stitch it down, just go ahead and tack those down real quick. It gives you just a cleaner edge. There's no stuffing in here, so nothing's going to fall out, but I like a cleaner look. Okay, that's all sewn on. We have the flat base, so we just shove that up in there too. Set it aside. Now, if you're worried about these threads coming undone, you can tie them all together. That'll help secure it all for you within your foot. And then I just stuff it all in there to give me the start on my stuffing for when I finish this leg. Okay, so now you have 2 feet. Flap, flap, flap. We've got our bird. We've got the 2 wings to sew on and the tail feathers. So let's go ahead and get the tail feathers and the wings on, and then we'll flip it over and we'll sew on those feet. We'll weave in any extra ends, and we'll be all done with our project. So tail feather first, because the wings are going to go over top of it. You have your cast on edge, and then you also have this. So I'm going to start with the cast on part, again, to hide it within the project. Tack that down. Now it's a tail, so I want it a little loose, but I'm going to tack it down to the edge where the tail feathers are. So I'm just going to go up the side. And this one got a little short, so I'm going to go ahead and just put it through. Try to get my scissors unstuck. Cut that off. And get the rest of the tail. So this is why I always tell you to leave a long tail for sewing, because then you can go in and just use this tail and you don't have to try to secure a piece of yarn and everything else. This works really well. And I came unthreaded because I was just manhandling everything. Just go back up this side. And for these, I like to try to hide the strings within, or the sewing underneath so you can't see it. Try not to get your tail feathers caught. Don't ruffle your tail feathers. Okay. All right, so now you have your tail on. Just take your brown yarn and push it up and through as far across as you can get it. That'll give you some extra that kind of lives in there, but they usually do not come out. Go ahead and cut that. While I have it, I'm going to go ahead and tack this one. I don't need this white for anything, so let's get rid of it because it's in my way. So this is white, so I'm going to pop it through a couple of times because it's the same color as what I'm hiding it in. So you can do this without leaving too many marks on your project. All right, so there we have his beaks on, his tail feathers are on. Now we need to do the wings, which are going to lay along the side and overlap over the tail as such. So you just want to sew those on. I would leave the bottom, so I sew them this way. So this part is loose. And sew them along the line up to about here. So you have some looseness. You can sew them all the way down if you want, but I like to have some movement in my crochet projects. So I'm just going to sew it along this line here. So I have it laid back where I want it. I'm going to go in. And feel free to adjust the way that this looks to fit your idea or your vision. It doesn't have to look exactly like mine. That's what's fun about these kind of handmade projects, is you made it. So it should look like you made it, not like I made it. And a lot of the way that you add the individuality is how you sew it together. I'm also making sure I'm sewing through both layers of the wing right here, just for some added support. Okay, so now it's laying over the tail, and I want this part to stay loose and I want this to stay loose. So the wings can move up and down. If it's a toy for somebody, you can come back down to give it added support, or you can just do one last stitch here, pull it up tight, and come back, because you want at least your edges, kind of like in sewing, you want to do them a little bit tighter. There you go. The wings still move, but he's right there. And then tuck your tail through. And then snip it. So go ahead and sew the other wing on like we just did, and we'll meet back here to do the feet. All right, you're almost done. So we've got both wings on, and I went ahead and sewed on one of the feet. So we'll just sew on one together. Now, when you're doing the feet, you kind of want to have him stand up so you can see that the toes aren't going to like hit each other or anything, and give yourself some space. He's not really going to stand up on his own. I know I gave him some big honking legs. He might stand a little, but you can also put the feet toward the front if you want him to be a sitting booby. Again, it's your call on how you want to do this. The easiest way is to flip him over and line your feet up. So right here you can see this was my last row. where I pulled up the end. So I've got him about 3 rows out, maybe 2 for the legs. And you want to, once again, I'm a big fan of like an overhand whip stitch. So just tack those on. Make sure you stuff the feet unless you don't need to because you used enough yarn. And you want to grab every stitch of that leg and attach it to the body. This way you don't have any stuffing popping out. Try to make sure they're even. And I will apologize. This is a lot easier when I can put it on my lap and crochet and sew it together, but keeping it on the table so you can see it makes it a little harder. As you can see, I just keep going around and making sure I grab every single crochet from the open edges of the legs. And then I'm grabbing a stitch from the body, trying not to catch the webbing, but sometimes that happens. Now I've gotten all the way around. I'm going to do a couple more just to make sure he's nice and tacked down. So these legs aren't going anywhere. All right, now this with the blue, I like to tuck it up through the legs, then skip over a stitch and go back through the legs just to hide that tail. And then I like to go up into the body. So we know it's got like multiple layers of stuffing to keep it in place. We cut that. And if you've stuck around this long, now you have your blue-footed booby. I'm going to try to make him stand. Ha! I got it. I hope you enjoyed this project. You can find me at drunkenauntwendydesigns.com. And I do several videos. And I also have a YouTube channel, which is also Drunken Aunt Wendy, or all the links to my crochet tutorials are on my website. So I hope you enjoyed making your little blue-footed booby. I'd love to see what you guys come up with. Thank you so much for crocheting with me. Bye.